All right, so we're gonna try to attempt to fix our mouth mount that broke last week. Tell us what we're gonna do, Atua. What's the plan?
Okay, I think we're gonna try to use some super glue to attach these back together, then maybe use some wire, maybe some screws, and maybe some epoxy, and I guess just see what we think might work the best, because 2 pieces, they just snapped in half. So we gotta reconnect them.
Yeah, so Atua hasn't been putting up surf videos. A lot of people have been requesting over at his YouTube channel. You can check that out. So he wants to start putting up videos, and I also like, a lot of people requested the GoPro videos. They like it, especially the first person kind of shooter, so it feels like you're surfing. I haven't been doing too much from the beach filming right now because there's these little bugs on the beach and they swarm you in the rainy season. It's right now we're in the middle of the rainy season. In the dry season there's hardly any, which is a shame because this is when the waves are the biggest and the best right now, but it's too hard to sit on the beach and get basically mauled by these tiny little, I don't know what they are, no-see-ums or sand fleas or whatever, and they're so itchy. They're not at every beach, but we have them definitely at our beach. Quick little update, Keely's gonna be doing a surf contest this weekend. It's the Costa Rica National Tour that comes to this part of Costa Rica once a year. They have about 10 contests throughout Costa Rica, 7 or, I don't know, 8 or 10 contests.
It's like 8.
Yeah. Keely's gonna be surfing in the mini grommets, kind of representing Tika Surf Bikini. Atua is not going to compete in this one because for one, it's kind of expensive, and two, he's going to VidCon, and we're going to VidCon like a few days after, so he wants to keep his mind focused on that and his videos. So he will cover it and kind of show you guys what's happening and probably get some footage of Keely. So make sure to go over to Atua's channel and subscribe if you're not subscribed, as well as we'll have something on ours. Let's go and try and fix this mouth mount. All right, let's talk about a hybrid fish, which is what we usually recommend to people that are gonna go from a bigger board down to their first shorter board. And usually in the beginner, intermediate to intermediate range usually. So let's talk about what a hybrid fish really does and why you would want one. So basically a typical fish usually is wide, thick, wide in the nose, a very low rocker, and they have a swallow, usually a pronounced swallowtail. And fishes are really good for kind of mushy, slow waves. Somebody who's not as skilled in, say, speed generation, a fish is really good because they just glide and they can carry your speed through flat sections and stuff like that. It's kind of like they have a little bit of a longboard quality without being a longboard. And then of course a shortboard is all about maneuverability. So a hybrid fish, the idea is to have the qualities of a fish but have the maneuverability
Of a shortboard.
Right. So when we go with the hybrid fish, the idea is you want to go roughly, they say usually 2 to 4 inches shorter than your standard shortboard. But if you are a beginner, intermediate to intermediate, what I would recommend is if you're an intermediate, you go about the same height, 2 inches. If you are a beginner, intermediate, we go 6 inches to 1 foot taller than your height. Just remember, the bigger you go, the easier it's going to be. So what's the size in this, Atua?
This particular one is a 5'6".
So a 5'6" board. Now I could surf this board, but I would struggle a little bit on it. So I would prefer, for me, something 2-4 inches shorter. I'd probably go with like a 5'9" or 5'10". However, Keely on a hybrid fish, we would probably keep her maybe 1 inch shorter. Atua maybe 2-3 inches shorter.
Yeah, when I surf this thing, the speed is just...
Without knowing your height, your weight, and your level, it's really hard to give you an exact specification of what kind of board, as well as what wave you surf, but we just wanted to give you guys a kind of a generalization. So
I'm gonna give you guys my insight on what I find works better for me from this board, So this board is actually a 5'4", this one's a 5'6", but definitely thicker and definitely quite a bit wider. So this board's actually a little bit bigger for me compared to like a normal board for me. So probably when I'm like maybe like 10-15 pounds heavier and when I maybe get a few inches taller, then I'll probably surf this board quite a bit more. Well, since this board, the hybrid fish, it has quite a bit more volume, I find it a little bit more difficult to duck dive, obviously because it floats more, whereas on this board I can duck dive waves a lot easier. So kind of trade-off. But then on this board, when I'm on a wave, I have a ton of more speed because since it has a lot more volume and it has more surface area, it'll plane a lot better. So if it's like a really mushy wave, on this board, I'll be able to stay in the wave, whereas on this board, I might lose the wave. And on this board, I can catch way more waves. So when it's maybe like really small out and I want to catch a lot of waves, but I don't want to take a longboard out, I'll take this and I'll sometimes catch like double, triple the waves that I would normally catch on this board. So that's one of the good things about like an oversized hybrid fish. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button. I'll give you guys a few seconds. Alright, well thanks for that. And if you haven't, make sure to subscribe, and if you'd like to check out my channel, Atua, links in the description. Una vida and aloha.